Good morning, good morning, everybody. I, first of all, praise Jesus for everything, really, but for his sacrifice and his grace and his mercy and his love. That is amazing. Um, wow, it's like I would get started at 6 a.m. if it was like if I thought it would be okay if I was like a half hour early or something like that, if that didn't catch people by surprise or something like that. Because this is starting to get crazy, man. This is starting to get. I'm an army guy, man. This is starting to get irritating. But, yeah, he's awake. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. So, yes, sir. So, yeah. Good morning, everybody. I enjoyed last night, with Jake and Oso. They got together. I was a little jealous, to be honest. I want to meet everybody, and I think that they're like, because I always, this is how I picture it, right? I picture that we get raptured up, and we get to be with Jesus, and get in line and get all our linen and our towels and stuff, right? Shower shoes, right? And then we get to all hang out, right? We get to all meet. And I think that's going to be probably, it's going to be like the third or fourth best day of my life, So, meeting God, right? Face to face. And then, my kids being born and then being glorified with you guys, right? I just wonder how that's going to be. And it's just we're so close, right? And there's all these signs that it's getting close, and there's all these things lining up, these and all these things with CERN, and obviously they're stirring up big conversation with these big topics that are just coming out. And that this isn't all for nothing. I mean, they could change whatever they want, basically anytime they want. And so for them to come out with these types of especially the Roe versus Wade thing, for them to come out with something that big is they're trying to mask or hide something, and they need to be big with it. They need to be big, and I am getting so I'm excited, but I also I pinch myself, is this for real, for real? Like not that I don't believe it, but it's just so close, that it's what is are you sure, God? I can't believe that the day that I've been waiting for is coming, So, or for us all mill people, maybe we're waiting on that day of the Lord, right? And it's approaching very soon. Because there's no way, there's no way, because when I see people talking about oh yeah, we got 20 years, we got 100 years, 1,000 years. Looking at the state of the world, I that's a big. It's gonna decline pretty fast because these things are exponential. It's not like it's gonna be twice as bad. You know, it's not like, well, it gets bad today and then twice as bad tomorrow, and then twice as bad the next day. This gets exponentially worse. to where forget about arguing laws and all that. There's going to be people that, I mean, it'll be lawless, which is what they want basically, is the do as thou wilt, right? And that's exactly what will happen if it keeps going at this rate. I mean, there's no stopping that. And it'll be like the Wild West again, except for there'll be like a permanent kind of underclass, kind of locked up a little bit, and then the elite people, right? And I guess they'll be on some kind of beach somewhere. I guess I'm assuming. Yes, and yes, and a little bit later. Well, look, if I would start like at 6, right, to like get rolling, and then that way, there's no way that I would be past 7 o'clock, But then if I'm too early, right, is it better to be early and then someone misses the show? Or is it better to be late? I don't know. It's better to be on time, but there's always something. And I just sort of just, I'm in that mood just to roll with it. What is the 4th of July? Independence Day, right? Independence Day. May the 4th be with you. No, that's May. That's May the 4th, right? Is that May the 4th? Just burgers on the grill, nothing fancy. That's it. That's it, huh? I'll do a video, maybe a live stream, just chat or something. Okay, all right. All right, that's good. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I thought about this, right? Independence Day. Now, we believe that, because growing up, we're told this is like, the day that we got independence from Britain, right? But is this the Rapture Day, right before um the CERN thing, right? Like, is Independence Day where we get to go, right? And they get their independence from us. Like, there's a lot to be like, oh yeah, I was trained to get drunk, cook and shoot fireworks all day. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I guess so. The only thing that I like, because they've made fireworks illegal, because I live in a complex. There's probably like, I don't know, probably 1,000 units. It's like a city on its own. And so they've made fireworks illegal in here because of the gunfire. Because people were shooting guns, and the helicopters weren't getting to the scenes of the crimes or something, whatever, fast enough. So now when they hear the, I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, it's so ridiculous, right? Like, then that they want to get to these crime scenes as fast as possible. And oh, you're tired. Oh, you stay tired. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's never a day where I'm just rested and feel great. And I mean, wouldn't it be good to be like 15 years old again and, sleep into like, noon or 1 o'clock, and you're just like, I don't have a job. I don't have to worry about nothing, no bills, and just sleep in, right? But I don't think I've been able to sleep like, I don't know, more than 5 consecutive hours in probably over a couple decades. Yep, sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I get it. I get it. Hey Shannon, how you doing? Good morning. And so, yeah, I mean, so Independence Day, right? So is this when they get independence from us and we get to fly out of here? That would be pretty cool. Or is this when we get independence from them? I mean, because I'm starting to not believe, like starting, right? I'm starting to not believe the Christopher Columbus and, you know, Thanksgiving. I don't believe that, you know? Like, I don't believe someone just discovered America, you know? There was already people here, but some guy discovered it. And they just, I don't know, all had turkey and then Christopher Columbus just took it. Is that how that works? I don't know, man. I definitely don't. Yeah, right, right. But they made a Christopher Columbus song and everything. Yeah, right, right. Yeah, you don't you don't have to believe it, but yeah, yeah. He's uh he's part of history, whether you like it or not, right? We live in an open air concentration camp prison with only the illusion of freedom and choice. Well, yeah, yeah, it's so you don't know what the 4th of July is? No, no, I do, right? I'm thinking like esoterically, what is it? It's our independence from England, obviously. No, but but I'm thinking about well, not only that, and but CC, right? CC is that number two. No, I'm thinking like, well, it's their independence from us, our independence from them. Oh, yeah, right. I know. Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know anymore. I just remember being in school and like you could like, you make a little headband and then you could put feathers on it, or or you make one of those hats with the buckle on it, so you could pick whatever you wanted to be. But I mean, isn't that like horrible, man? Like there's little kids. Oh yeah, the Indians were here, but Columbus just discovered this place, and don't worry about them. Those they don't count for discovering stuff, but we but we discovered it. That's so horrible. Like the more I think about school, the more horrible that I'm like, oh man, I was just a little boy, man. Why did they do that to me? You know what I mean? But like they did it to all of us. So it's not like you can like just feel sorry for yourself. I mean, it's a it's everybody, right? We were all victimized by all that. Oh, it's just insane, man. I mean, just think how innocent we were. We had our little hair combed and all that, right? And our mom walked us to the door and everything. And we were just getting indoctrinated, man. We were just getting straight up indoctrinated. And now it's even worse, man. Now it's even worse. And then with the internet, like in reality, right? Even though there's like, like most of the information on the internet is even bull crap, right? But with the internet, I mean, there's not, I don't even know why they need to go to school. Because if you, like, when we were kids, right? If you wanted to know something, you had to ask your dad, man. Like, you didn't have Google or any of that. You were like, Dad, how many teeth does a hippo have? And if you were lucky, your dad knew, or you had some old set of encyclopedias or something. But now with Google and all that, I mean, they don't need to go to school. As long as you teach them how to talk and add and all that stuff and read, that's like right there. That's everything. I bet I bet nowadays a kid could teach themselves how to read with, with all the technology or whatever that's out there. They start playing with phones when they're just babies now. I mean, if you would have showed me a phone with a text message, I would have flipped out like that was some kind of witchcraft, I would have been like, what? Where is the cord? What? Like it would have baffled me. Like, how is the information getting to the phone? Like, because I used to think the voice of the person, right, was going through the phone cord, right? Like if there was no cord, the voice couldn't get through. That's how my thinking was as a kid. And so the first time I saw a cordless phone, I did flip out. I was like, no way, that's amazing. Even though we did have walkie-talkies and stuff like that, I didn't really understand radio frequencies. Of course, I mean, yeah, as a kid, we're not gonna probably pick that stuff up. But it's just weird, like how you think as a kid, Yeah, it's like my son yeah, tech support. Yeah, but you know what? They grow up with it. And I think that there's value in that. And it's like being tough, right? Like if you're a kid and you grow up in a country where there's like war and stuff like that, you're just a lot tougher than like a kid that doesn't grow up in that environment, right? Like, because you have to be like you're growing up in an environment and you have to be strong, right? Not that it's better or worse. It just is what it is, right? And it's like you put a goldfish in a bigger bowl, they get bigger or whatever. And so they're growing up with all this technology. It's nothing to them. But for us, learning three or four devices was like, oh man, how does this work again? you know? And then, because I remember computers when I first started, not only did I have half my life without it, but I was also one of those guys like, I don't need no darn computer. Like I was stubborn about it. And so I was even late for being late, you know? And I was one of these guys like, oh, okay, where's F2 again? Where's the paper? Okay, F2. And everything was a process. And so probably a task that would take me 5 seconds took me half a day. She says I'm not technically inclined. Yeah, me neither, man. I mean, you have to be now. I'm about as inclined as like we have to be. But if I don't have like a daily necessity for something, then I probably don't know how to use it. But you would think that they would have something like what do they have now in place of fax machines, right? They don't, huh? Fax technology has never gotten better. It's still the same, huh? If you need, well, I guess they do electronic signatures, right? That's different now. They've been doing that for about a decade or more. It's pretty crazy, right? Just the way they do well, the way they do money is that's the biggest change now, right? Like, but the whole push is this, right? As long as the money is outside of your body, right? If it's outside of your body, then you could get money to pay for things any way you want, right? But as soon as the money is inside your body, right? Then there's always the danger that they could just turn you off and you can't buy anything. And there's no other source to get money to give to people. That's the danger of not having full body autonomy, right? We want we want those things to be control the outside of us. So that the control is really like based on how, how well we can find resources, not whether or not they can flip a switch and turn you back on or off. That would be horrible. Oh, yeah. She says, my dad used to mumble at the keyboard, and I laughed when he asked himself, where the F is any key? Yeah, hit any key. Like, where's any key at? Our company has cell phones that can fax documents. You snap a picture and send, oh, that's pretty cool. Hey, now that's pretty cool. You take a picture of the document, like a screenshot of it, no, like a picture, and then you send it, and it goes. Now that's sharp right there. That's pretty smart. Cause that's the hardest. Like that's the worst. That was the worst part of my day in the army was that darn fax machine. Having to get paperwork to places. You're like, oh man, I hope this fax machine works. And of course it's like the ultimate best, huge piece of machinery, fax machine ever. You're like, oh, it looks like it should work all the time, right? But it's the worst one that you could get. It's always that one that's the like, where's the old fax machine? The one that's like, the lowest technology possible, and it's like old faithful, like, oh yeah, that one's it always works. You can never go wrong with that little one. Plug it in, it's good to go. But the super fancy extra best one never worked. And you're always you always have it halfway taken apart, and you're like, where's everything at? Is there a paper jammed in here? What's going on? It's just amazing, right? Yeah, no, Nokia, yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. Or like you always have that relative that's like, yeah, I still have the flip phone. Like it's like they're making a point. It's not even because they want to have the flip phone. It's that they're like, it's like it's like a symbol of like, uh I'm not gonna buy any of those fancy doodads. I still got my flip phone. It's like, yeah, but you can't watch a movie, man, in the elevator. What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do if you're bored during an earthquake? You just have your flip phone. And so I don't know, right? Weird, we all have this amazing tech, but the human condition sucks. Right, I mean, you're right. Well, I don't think that technology has helped people as far as like developing personal skills, even though it's connected people in a way that you can have like, a million friends or whatever, but your personal skills are not better. It's almost like you can kind of hide, and there's less risk. Because I remember when I was a kid and you had to like like if you needed to ask a girl out on a date, you had to do that face to face, man. And it was, oh, you're so nervous. And like you practiced your speech all day, trying to get it right, asked your dad for advice. I mean, it was like a whole ordeal. I mean, they probably took you a week to get yourself straightened out. And now it's just a text message. Oh, do you want to go out? No. Oh, okay. That didn't break my heart. I have 100 messages out right now. We'll see what comes back. And it's like, well, okay, that's easier, right? I get that. I get the value of that, right? But are we really making connection with people? Like, is there the reward isn't as good, right? The the reward isn't as good. And so you wonder if the next generation is losing out, because the scary part is that this is the last generation of people. We're the last generation of fully autonomous human beings, and the next generation, unfortunately, they're going to stop making phones at some point and say, okay, well, the next phone is got to be inside your head, and if you don't upgrade, you can't be on the phone with us. And people are going to want to stay connected, right? Obviously, they've been like that their whole life, and they can't live without their phone. And there's a lot of people that can't. In fact, it would be difficult for me to not use it anymore, even though I think I probably could. I I, I could probably quit using it, but it'd be hard. You know, think about there's a section of people that have never been without it, never been without that kind of technology, right? And so it's like their whole like they're unplugged from life, and they're trying to do that with what is it, virtual reality. Get you plugged in there, and then you're in some kind of fantasy, where you can pick your own reality. Can you imagine? Oh God, please come get us. Please come get us before human beings are plugged into this thing and just wasting away in a ugh. Sorry for that image. It says weird we all have this amazing tech. Yeah, I know. I know. We should says the day is coming when being technically handicapped will be a real, yeah, exactly. If you're technically handicapped, it might, and that's it's a good point. I mean, yeah, if you're technically handicapped, yeah. Brain threads. Oh my God, that's just terrifying. This is terrifying. I don't want that as part of me, man. I don't want brain threads. I really don't. I just want things to be regular again. Like go out and throw the football or play tag. You know what I mean? Like, of course, that's it's wanting to be a kid again. I get it. But it just seems simple, like a simpler time. More connected to see, I wish I knew God back then, right? Like that's the only thing I regret, in life, right? I mean, of course there's regrets, right? But the thing that I wish I could change the most is like I wish I knew God um way, way, way earlier, in life. What do I think is going to happen with CERN? See, I don't know, right? I think that that's also a diversion. I mean, it could be, but it also could be something, right? But it's just another big thing that people, for people to talk about right before the weekend. Just like last weekend, it was the Roe v. Wade thing, and I think something is going to happen that who knows, right? But I'm hoping the rapture is I'm hoping the rapture happens, and then like they use that CERN scenario to explain it all. Because like what's weird is that these things have been lining up and more obvious than I thought it would line up with. Oh, it says no one even knows what's about to happen. Right. So what do you think is going to happen, Michael? Many are focused on CERN, right? Yeah. So Oh, not that many are focused on CERN. Okay. See, I don't know this, right, Michael, because I don't watch any news. The only news I see is from Bubba or, just whatever, like if like a truther does like commentary over it. And so I've really like been disciplined with like not, you know, polluting my brain. So when I hear something, I have good discernment, whether or not because I don't want to put my own emotions on it, right? Like, oh, I can't wait for this to happen, so I want it to happen, you know. Yeah, you just learned about it. Oh, okay, yeah. So Hannah says, in my opinion, nothing will happen with CERN. Oh, see, now that's a strong take there, Hannah. Oh, just nothing. Nothing will happen. I hope something does happen. I hope like of course, you know what I hope. Of course, I hope we all get to start our life in the next world, man. That's what I want. Or where. Daniel says knowledge shall increase. Well, yeah, I mean it is already though, Michael, isn't it? Knowledge shall increase. People will be going to and fro, right? Travel is getting stronger. Then you got the Revelation 12 sign in 2017. You got the fig tree generation. Those are things that are lining up that you can't like. Those are things that are hard to deny. Those are pretty strong, you know. And so then you start matching scripture up with it, like what's going on. And you're right, knowledge shall increase. So who knows, right? Like I think when Daniel says knowledge shall increase, is it that we're going to know more stuff, or that people are going to know more truth? Because if people wake up at a pretty fast rate, people are going to be shocked, man, with what's true. Can you imagine if you just woke up one day and you found out the earth was flat and that everybody was transgender in Hollywood? Like, just that alone would make you freak out, you know? Like, if you believed it, right? Because, of course, there's so many people, if you tell them that, they'll deny it no matter what proof you show them, so it doesn't matter. But like if you were to wake up and believe that, that's a pretty shocking amount of information right there, let alone, politics and all this other stuff, right? And the money markets and how all that works, way different than I thought it worked. And yes, Hannah, Jesus is the ultimate truth. That's it. I mean, he is the truth. I like how he equates himself to being the truth because the more you accept reality, the freer you are, right? And so I love that, right? The truth will set you free. And it's not about which set of beliefs that you choose in life. It's how much of reality are you willing to accept is what matters. And with the main focus being on what you believe is um, you know, almost the most important thing, right? What you believe. And so if you believe in the truth as opposed to, the world, which is all lies, right? None of it's true, right? You like when you're in it, you think, okay, well, some of this world is true, some stuff is real, some stuff is not real. But then you start to find out, wow, like it is just layers and layers of bullcrap. And people throughout the years, uh, throughout history, have just kind of picked their kind of like layer of bullcrap, you know what I mean? And rolled with that. Like, okay, yeah, this is okay. I fit in here with these people. This will be my bullcrap. and then they just roll with it, right? I don't know. You know, what do you mean? Never mind. Sorry, you mentioned it. What does that mean? Oh, why would CERN have technology to open portals? And Revelation 9 talks about bottomless pit. Oh, you know what? It could be that, and it could be that obvious, right? Like I always used to think that these prophecies were going to line up and be like not that obvious. It was going to be like some kind of weird way that it would happen, or you know, some kind of hidden secret way that they would avoid, things that are obvious in the Bible to give us warning. But I don't think that they even know the truth. I think the things in the Bible are happening just because it is written and that's the way it is. Like, not that they're in on putting that together, just that that's how creation will work. And you're blessed if you read the Bible because you will know that, but it's not revealed to everybody, Like I I I really believe that like the things in the Bible that we know are not revealed to everybody that doesn't read it. And so yeah, I think so, right? Revelation 9. Sure, absolutely. I think that could be happening. The bottomless pit opened up. I mean, I would be kind of like, now that would make me scared a little bit, like to see locusts with like human heads on it, heads of men or whatever on a bug. Now that would be kind of freaky. I mean, I don't know how scared of it I would be, but I know I wouldn't want it around me. Would you want some bug flying around you with a human head on it? Oh man, that's horrible, man. What a horrible creature, man. You know what I mean? If you think about it, I wonder can they talk? Can you reason with it? You know what I mean? I know it says that it won't. It'll just attack the unbelievers, right? Oh, I'll tell you what. If I was an unbeliever and something like that flew around me, man, I would become a believer really fast. I'd be like, okay, okay, yes, I believe. I believe. Get this thing away from me. Freaky, man. Ooh, gives me the willies just thinking about it. And then they're like, they got like scorpion tails and just the way they describe some of that stuff, man. I'm like, there's going to be people so stubborn that they're not going to submit to the truth, right? Even though they're being tortured. Some of them being tortured what for 6 months or something like that for several months, and they can't die, and they're just to me, I'm like, wow, like I mean, you would really have to be, I mean, super stubborn, right? It says, do you take those verses woodenly or symbolically? Well, um, I could go either way on it, right? Like, I don't really dig in, Hannah, because I don't have like an original belief on any of those things, right? So, um, I've read them to just read it how it says it, and then I've also read it to be symbolic too, right? So the cool part about Revelation, right, is that the things that are symbolic, they're in there. It's like you can go back in the Bible to find out, where the symbolism is, instead of like, having to find out from some other source, or to guess what these things mean, right? The Bible defines itself, so that's the cool part about that. The hard part is that if you haven't read the Bible a lot and you start off in Revelation, it's like you got to go find these places where all this stuff is. I guess now with a computer, it's easier, because you can just search lampstand, right? In Google or something like that. But can you imagine, like, if you didn't know what a lamp, what all these things meant, right? And having to just flip back and forth and find I mean, you really would have to just read the whole thing a couple of times before you got any benefit. I don't know. It was hard enough to find out when I did with things. I think the earlier start you get on things, the better. I think some things are symbolic, but I think those things are obvious. And I think most of all, even if it is symbolic, if you just read what it says, that's what it means. And so, like, I think when you're given it moral authority on your life, it just means what it says. And I don't think you can really go wrong. I mean, to me, when I read the Bible, right, without people telling me, doctrine or without people telling me how things are supposed to work, I mean, I get the feeling that if you want to be saved, you can be saved. It's just that easy. And that the grace is so much that it's just unbelievable. But there's also this, like, you're not forced to do it, but there's this obligation, right, to do the commandments out of love, right? Where it's like your choice. You're not forced to do it. It's just out of your love for God if you would do it or not. And so I do think that there's people that could be saved, and you know, I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't want to create an imaginary person that gets saved and then doesn't care about God, because I don't think that person exists. I think that too many times we make up like these characters that don't exist, to argue about. But I think the grace is just so much, that he loves us so much that it's just so much grace that it's offensive to people. And it's not because, he wants to let you off the hook for doing something bad. It's just that he's so great, that his grace is just so powerful that you can't just have a little bit. It's like he's so amazing that he covers the world. It's I can't explain it. It's just I don't think God can do things in small doses, right? He's he's the biggest impact on everything all the time. And how much he loves us is like far, far more than like I would ever think that we would. I mean, we don't deserve it, obviously, but far more than we could ever imagine. And so I like that. I really do. Like, I mean, I love God so much, man. I just like that's all I really want to do with my time is think about God and talk about God and wait for him to come back and get our get ourselves up out of here and start, go be in a place that's, made for us, that isn't corrupted by anything. And so, yeah. Michael says, last year I was offended by his grace, but he brought me out of that. Yeah, it's like, it's only offensive if you don't want people to make it, Like, if you want people to make it, right, then it's like, oh, yeah, well, then I want it to be easy for people to make it. But then when you think how horrible some people are, you're like, oh, wow. I mean, technically, his grace would cover everybody, the worst criminal ever, right? But you got to also know yourself, right? Like, well, I mean, look at how bad I am. Like, so I look at that, and the more forgiving I am, the better I feel. And so I think there's a big part of that too. Like, if you're forgiving, then you'll be forgiven. Do you mean you didn't want? No, 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 not me, not me. But like, I think that the reason why it could be offensive to somebody Is it some people wouldn't want other people like, oh, wait, why is he getting saved? Well, because the grace is so big, it covers everybody, you know? Yeah. But see, I look at myself, right? And I'm like, oh man, well, what makes me better than anyone else, you know? I mean, just because there's lines that I wouldn't cross, right? Does that make me better than anybody? And so I look at it like in comparison to God, I'm very, very, very far off from holy. The gap between me and God is humongous, right? And the gap between me and you is very small. You know what I mean? And so like that's the way I look at it. But I've seen many, many people, and I don't know, like I think you guys have seen people that they'll be very judgmental, and they'll be like, "Oh, I don't want those people to make it. They need to change before they can make it." Without seeing their own self, like what they're doing. And it's like they're elevating some sins above others. It's kind of, to me, it's a turnoff, really. Like, I was kind of like to where I didn't feel like I fit in church because of that. I'm like, wow, I'm not like these people. Kind of like Pharisees, right? But yeah, I mean, like the modern day judgmental people. So yeah, in a way, Angelina, most like the church. Yeah, I hope I described that pretty good. Michael saying exactly, I didn't deserve the grace. I was a. Oh, okay, so you were like focused on yourself. That's good. But see, that's half the battle. If you're focused on yourself, right, then you're ready to ask God for forgiveness. If you're focused on other people, then that's kind of a bad social condition to be in. Always need grace, absolutely. God is so amazing. Just so amazing. I mean, just the amount of like power. Like the amount of things that he could fix, the amount of things that he could just fix in 1 second. That like just the fact that when he gets here, all the pain stops like in 1 second. That's what's like the most impressive thing to me is once he's down here and he's got us, it's like I know that we'll be okay. I mean, I know we'll be okay now, right? But there's just some other kind of feeling to see it. And to know, okay, he's here. it's we're done. It's over. I'll probably start crying. Like finally this is over. I don't know. I don't know, but I want that feeling for everybody. I want everybody to feel that relief. Especially anybody that's in pain out there. No more pain, no more being tired, no more emotions, no more you know what I mean? Nothing dragging us down. We won't be hungry. Uh it'll be great. We won't be out of shape. We'll be clean. You know what I mean? We'll be clean and healthy. Just amazing. Alrighty, guys. Well, it's time to hit the old dusty trail. I do want to do panels tonight. Like, of course, last night I wanted to do panels, but it was great to see Jake and Oso together, and that was cool. I was, jealous again. I said it's the fourth time I said it, right? That I want to be with everybody too. And, it is what it is. I'll see you guys when we get up there. But, um, yeah, panels tonight if we can, because those days are easy for me. Like any kind of show where I don't have to carry the whole show is because it's like takes a certain amount of energy out of you to be live. I can't explain it. Like even though I'm not doing any more work, it's like a certain amount of energy drain that happens, you know. But yeah, I'm so happy you guys came, and so I'll work on that. Of course, I said it 3 times in a row, Anna. Right? I'll work on that poll. It was a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff, and it's a lot of work for me, even though it's not that much work. But I'll put it together. And so, praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. All glory to God because he deserves it. And, pray for the children. Pray for anyone being victimized out there. And hey, Luke, and pray for each other. And I will see you guys, Lord willing, tonight at 5 p.m. We're going to be doing panels. All right.